Peace and blessings, Sapo, the Success Scholar, on one Hakish me here. Thank you all for tuning in and listening in. Man, well, it's Saturday evening, nothing planned much. So just here, getting ready to watch a documentary that I just got in the mail. So very grateful for that. But the name of this piece is uh, the conscious community intentionally keeping you and black people ignorant. So I have a Facebook group called Saving Black People from the Conscious Community, and I started this several years ago after I saw some of the more lack of development and the stagnation within those people that consider themselves part of the conscious community. And I saw a lot of it in Baltimore and expanded to the DC area where I saw a lot of lack of development, holistic growth, and real maturity in terms of forward thinking and progressiveness. And so, with that being said, the reason that I came to this recent conclusion in doing this video is that for whatever reason, many of these individuals who I have supported over the years and sold their products, marketed their books, and really had them on my radio shows and promoted their work over the years. Many of them truly have become stagnant and are actually keeping many of you are ignorant on different levels. And so, I was actually in Baltimore and I just rode past a lecture speaker that was in town. I just was in that area and I was just like, let me ride past there. And I saw people hanging out, smoking cigarettes, looking like they just walked off of, out of a club or something. And I was just like, man, this is crazy, And what I'm seeing is that there's no refinement. And I sincerely would have hoped that by now, that if these individuals are coming to one's town, that they would certainly use their platform to expand the knowledge base as well as let people know who actually are doing the real, relevant, practical, scholastic, empowering work and conscious raising work in this area. So, with that being said, and seeing that unfortunately there's not a whole lot of consciousness in the Baltimore area, and I just use that example because most of the time their level of consciousness is hearing conspiracy theories from Dick Gregory. So, and having him come to town every single week, and they haven't necessarily deviated from that. They've kept people at a certain level of stagnation where people like myself who, have studied the work of Dr. John Henry Clark and Dr. Amos Wilson and, actually supported many of these people, have had to deal with the contradictions of a movement that I actually assisted to build, and some people I led many people to these different individuals, and now many of these people are still actually stuck. They're stuck, and I feel that a little. I'm not gonna say guilty, but it's just like since I'm not necessarily in these spaces, and all I see is trauma and drama and stress and frustration. All I realize is that it's time for those of us who are doing the most relevant practical work to take a level of leadership. And so this is where, for me, putting this message out, and of course have done various radio shows, and my content and information is out there. I've always been one to share in my platforms, as well as share the profits, and always giving back to the community. And so, with that being said, I was just reflecting rather recently, where I mentioned how some people are actually refusing to give me the credit, although over the past 12 months and 16 months. So let me just kind of go back, because I called in on a radio show in Baltimore, and this made me kind of bring this all together. And I told this elder, and he's not necessarily conscious, but that I was calling for 100 black men to come to downtown Baltimore when Chris Brown concert is going on. That's next Friday, the 31st, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. I will be there. Certainly, and a few others that I've been working with, who I shall not name at this particular time. But I don't want people to feel that they align themselves with me. Because some folk don't want to. That black one. He's that black with that African sounding name, and that black sound, that Muslim or whatever. People want to just call everybody Muslims or whatever. But he actually said something to me, and it made me kind of wake up a little bit, awakening to another level. He said, well, send something to me in writing. And I'm just like, man, I'm just calling on your radio show. Usually, for those who know me, they know I rarely call in on radio shows anymore. I don't have time to sit up here and compete when my intellectual levels are on the level of Dr. Amos Wilson and Dr. John Henry Clark. I'm not going to sit and entertain calling and waiting in, and waiting for old Negroes to kind of grow up, or to shift their organizational analysis, and connect the dots and know who strategically they should be edifying or supporting. And this is the lack of organizational sophistication of these different speakers, basically, who fail to edify the more relevant, practical, empowering work. And this is what I mean by intently failing to bring those that have a more strategic message, and those that have not just a message, but a track record. A track record. You see, because when you show up, right? When you show up for school for 10, 15, 20 years, or you go to, let me just say, the colleges for 4 years, you don't keep going forever. And that's what's happening with many of these individuals in this conscious environment. People show up forever. They don't grow. Nothing changes within their life. They're not necessarily holistic. They're not practicing a healthy lifestyle, uh, they're not developing a cooperative, collaborative relationships with other people who may not necessarily agree 100% with everything that they stand for. And I'll just give you this example, as I was mentioning, how there's this one brother that talks about the homosexual agenda all of the time, every day, all day. And he quoted Dr. Umar Johnson again, even after I did a video rather recently. And I shared how many of these black men actually have this, uh, they're not, you know, the LGBT, the anti-LGBT agenda that they stand against. They're not consistent with that. And it just made me reflect how rather recently, uh, I mean, not recently, but before, the Dr. Umar Johnson, for instance, he, in fact, was with the conscious stripper. Now, she, in fact, would dance for both men and women. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never courted a woman that is in clubs shaking her butt in front of men, let alone women. But I'm just like, if you are a over 30-year-old man, black man in this society, uh, I would sincerely have hoped that you would have evolved from that. Now, before you all get angry, I'm not going to attempt to denigrate that. And, you know, we all grow at particular times. And I sincerely hope, but it's like you can't keep claiming or upholding Umar Johnson uh, when he obviously doesn't totally believe in the homo agenda to that degree, uh, uh, in terms of not supporting homosexuality or lesbianism, LGBT, when in fact, you know, his girlfriend or sister girlfriend was a went both ways. I don't know. Anybody that's gonna dance in front of some other women, ain't no way I'm dancing in front of no brother. So you got to kind of be in that life. You got to kind of be about that life to be in that life, if you feel me. So I just want to, you know, kind of put those things out there in terms of uh, 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 just the lack of evolution. And, you know, many of these individuals, for instance, they're going to keep on, you know, they don't show up to learn anything. So they're not necessarily getting the right contemporary intel. And I do believe that there's a balance between intelligence gathering and speaking and knowing your limits. But yes, we do have various technologies today. So it makes it a little bit more uh, sophisticated to where we can, you know, both study and get things done. But I believe that there's time needed, and this is where the book or the lecture series come out by Baba Manu and Pool and Penn. I'm sorry, comes out. I have the book somewhere. So with that being said, I just want to say that unfortunately we live in a time where I'm going to ask more and more to make some definitive conscious decisions and evolve. You're going to have to come out of just listening to one or two or three people. You know, sometimes yes, and hopefully these people are right and upright that you can listen to and develop these business and life skills and becoming holistic and well-rounded, so that it's about preservation, self-preservation of our life. And so we need individuals like the Success Scholar who have a more well-rounded strategy and understanding in terms of where we need to go for empowerment and freedom. So that's what I wanted to say. Again, I'm going to have a book signing coming up in the next couple of weeks, working on a few other projects, of course, and we got some things coming around the Tupac film that's going to be coming out. So keep an eye open for that in the next 2-3 weeks. No, next 2-3 months. I'm sorry. And tune in to my broadcast each and every Monday. This Monday, I will be having a sister talking about the film industry. We're going to talk about several films that have come out. No, we're not going to do a 1.5 hour clip on Get Out, as some of you would sit and watch a fictitious, speculative, spooky ass analysis of someone suggesting or theorizing about what the hell Get Out mean. So I just say, the conscious community is like Nas said, like hip hop is dead. Conscious community is some dead, like it's just crazy. So get some practical knowledge. Hell, listen to Nearly Fuller if you need to. Learn some logic and build something for yourself, organize for your family, raise your children, protect your children without question, educate your children, get your children books. Stop just thinking that you're going to take them to a lecture or go to a lecture and that's all you have to do. Stop trying to give your children to people and think that absolve you from the responsibility of educating your own children. That's what empowerment should and supposed to be about, not waiting for a school to be built, not buying the right books, which individuals should be sharing with you, like I've done over the past 5, 6, 7 years, showing various institutions the right books, reading the right books personally, so I understand what I'm actually encouraging and marketing to individuals. And by not being a hypocrite in my own personal life in terms of family and relationships and compromising my integrity. So that's what I have to say, brothers and sisters. So again, if anybody asks me again, am I showing up to a particular lecture or am I going? I've graduated. But let me get right back real fast. Another brother came on my page and said something about me. This is not necessarily a particular conscious brother, but he said something about, well, I would need a memo too, or I would need something in writing too when I called in on the radio show. I'm like, you don't ask Farrakhan, send me something in writing. You don't ask the congressman or the mayor, send me something in writing. If I call and give a shout out or call out that I want 100 black men to show up, no, I've done the necessary work. And if you are too miseducated and too unconscious and unaware and disconnected to know that, then you just a slave. And to me. So I'm not going to hold up for you. I'm just going to count you as a loss, particularly if you are over 45 or 55 years of age. And, you know, I mean, your abilities from my military, political, economic strategy is that you may have various limitations when you don't know who to partner with. We need the power of discernment. We need to understand various human dynamics. And this is why someone like myself, the success scholar, is a more relevant and practical scholar for this day. So I'm going to ask some people to grow a little bit more. I know it's going to be hard because, again, maybe 10, 15 years ago, I probably wouldn't have listened to me. You know, my mind just I wouldn't have been ready, you know, for the deafness, you know, of a real thinker. You know, I was just someone showing up to lectures, listening. I was learning, I was getting certain things, but I paid a price for that. You know, I paid a price for my own personal failures by allowing for these individuals to limit my growth and expansion. And this is why I made the commitment to our people, to the community, that I'm not going to limit our people's growth and expansion. I'm going to expand your life in every principled way imaginable. Just like the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, how he taught, you know, offering the best homes, friends in all walks of life, and empowerment and growth. He didn't say that, but some paraphrasing. But that's what I'm offering for our people. And so it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I have the real plan. You can support the Success Scholar, successscholarhaki.com. Join a more relevant, practical, conscious, holistic, well-rounded movement of this time. There's no doubt, there's no question. Moves are being made. If you open your eyes, your ears, and your third eye, you'll be able to see and hear the message and see the manifestations of the more relevant, practical, empowering, holistic work that's being done for our community. So that's all I have. Thank you for tuning in, listening in. Again, tune in each and every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, elifemedia.net. Been going strong for 8 or 9 months. Have several amazing archive interviews that I've had with some of the top phenomenal thinkers, readers, authors, speakers, coaches, historians, activists. You know, I walk with some good people, some good, holistic, healthy people. They're not going to fight you. They're not going to call you the N-word. They're not going to invite you to an event and cuss you out. So that's what we need. We need more healing, more healthy individuals that are about the business of making a difference and, of course, defending our right to self-determination, to holistic living and peace and tranquility. All right. So that's all I have. Peace.